Why Johannesburg is called City of Gold. Johannesburg is South Africa's biggest city and the capital of Gauteng province, and is also the wealthiest and without doubt the economic powerhouse of Africa. Johannesburg sits on the edge of the world's largest known gold deposit, and the area was first declared upon for public digging in 1886. Although it is known that gold was traded and worked here for centuries before the arrival of gold miners. Within a few years, the city had grown to become South Africa's largest settlement, attracting migrant laborers from all across southern Africa and beyond. The so-called landlords, which was a mining company, controlled a large portion of the mining wealth and built some of Johannesburg's most iconic structures, which can still be recognized today. Hello explorers, and welcome to another interesting episode on the channel. But before we get into today's video, if you're new here, please ensure to subscribe by clicking the big red subscribe button below. Give this video a thumbs up, and if you find such content interesting, feel free to check on our previous videos and tell us your take on the videos in the comment section below as we move on. Joburg, or Josie, as some prefer to call it, offers visitors an experience as unique and diverse as the city itself. Whether you're on a business, in search of a cultural encounter, an adrenaline rush, or you simply want to relax and unwind for a few days, the city of Joburg has everything you're looking for and more. Its history. Before becoming a city, Johannesburg was home to a variety of peoples, including Stone Age predecessors dating as far back as 500,000 years, Bushmen dating back 1,000 years, Tswana Iron Age furnaces dating back 500 years, and Boer farmhouses going all the way back to the 1860s. However, the city began in 1886 when Australian gold miner George Harrison discovered gold. Tents and wagons appeared soon after, followed by wood and iron constructions, which were thereafter replaced by brick structures. A town was established, as well as a vast busy market square. Buildings increased in height, and the city now has one of Africa's highest structures, such as the 50-story Houghton Center, which was completed in 1973. Miners from all over the world flocked to the Witwatersrand during the gold rush, sparking the Anglo-Boer or South African War of 1899 to 1902, in which the British fought the Boers for the control of its gold. Following the war, a new influx of migrants arrived in Johannesburg, and up to 60,000 Chinese laborers were brought in to reopen the mines, only to be returned 6 years later. Chinese merchants, on the other hand, had established themselves in the city and continued to do it anyway. The mines also attracted Europeans to the growing town, and they gave the funds to dig further into the dirt in search of gold, while black South Africans were hired to mine for low wages. After the 1913 Native Land Act, which stripped black people of their land, industries grew and more people came seeking jobs and a share of the wealth. Buildings climbed upwards and suburbs spread out in all directions, covering almost 1,700 kilometers square today. The Sachsenwald forest, which was established in the city's first decade, has grown into a 10 million tree urban forest. Rapid growth. Like many late 19th century mining towns, Joburg was a rough and disorganized place, populated by white miners from all continents. African tribesmen recruited to perform unskilled mine work as usual. As the value of control of land increased, tensions developed between the Boer-dominated Transvaal government in Pretoria and the British. During the war, many African mine workers left Joburg, creating a labor shortage, which the mines resolved by bringing in laborers from China, especially southern China. After the war, they were replaced by black workers, but many Chinese stayed on, creating Johannesburg's Chinese community. The economy. Johannesburg is a mining, manufacturing, and financial center. and it is home to all the mining companies as well as the Institute of Mines, which supervises the industry. From textiles to specialized steels, local factories in Joburg and the East Rand produce a wide range of products, and the mining industry has a substantial engineering sector to support it. The city is home to the headquarters of nearly all the country's banks, insurance companies, and building societies. More than 600 firms are listed on the Joburg Stock Exchange, which was formed in 1887 to raise cash for deep-level mining. Despite the fact that Pretoria, being South Africa's capital, is only 40 miles to the north, the majority of state ministries are based in Joburg, and many foreign nations have diplomatic operations in the city, mostly to serve the needs of hundreds of international companies that operate there. The city site. Johannesburg is located on a vast grassy plateau that runs into the interior of South Africa and sits on the border of low rocky ridges that serve as a barrier between the Indian and the Atlantic Ocean, and has an elevation that varies between 1,740 and 1,810 meters. Apart from a few minor streams and man-made lakes, Joburg is void of water. The city's location is due to the existence of a more valuable resource, which is gold. The city grew on the edge of the Witwatersrand main reef, a subterranean stratum of gold-bearing quartz silica conglomerate that arcs for hundreds of miles beneath the high veld. Although most of the city's gold mines closed in the 1970s, the Witwatersrand gold sector accounted for more than 40% of global yearly gold production at the time. Rusted headgear, colossal yellow-white mine dumps, and dusty Australian blue gum trees imported for underground timbering still litter the landscape. Architecture. Some of Africa's tallest skyscrapers may be found in Johannesburg, including the Centec Tower, Hillbrow Tower, Carlton Centre, and Ponte City Apartments. The Johannesburg city skyline has most of the tallest buildings on the continent and contains most international organizations such as IBM, ABSA, BHP, Willis Group, First National Bank, Nedbank, and Standard Bank. Many of the city's older structures have been removed and newer structures have been constructed in their place. Climate. Johannesburg has a temperate climate, and summer temperatures average around 24 degrees Celsius, and in winter, temperatures range between 13 degrees Celsius and only rarely drop below freezing. And regular cold fronts pass over in winter, bringing very cool southerly winds but usually clear skies. In both winter and summer, the city receives roughly 8 hours of sunlight per day, with an annual rainfall that averages about 28 inches. However, the total varies greatly from year to year. Droughts are a common occurrence, and the city gets almost all of its rainfall in the summer, and it usually comes in the form of spectacular late afternoon lightning storms. Conclusion. Johannesburg became the 19th century last great boom town as the size of the gold reserves became clear. Miners from as far as Australia and California joined competent Cornish and Welsh miners who brought a strong trade union history to South Africa. Debt and drought drove many Afrikaners from their rural homes, resulting in slums like Brickfield and Vrededorp. Blacks from all over the southern African subcontinent flocked to the city, frequently in huge groups, adding a dozen more voices to the cultural and linguistic mix. The majority of blacks worked in the mines for 6 to 9 months before returning to their rural communities. That brings us to the end of today's video, and if you found it interesting, leave a like and don't forget to hit that subscribe button below and click on the bell icon so as to be notified when next we drop, and we won't mind if you share with a friend. Thanks for watching.